Happy hump day. Today is Wednesday. I hope people in Chicago are staying warm. I am getting videos of what it's looking like over there. You guys stay warm. You guys stay safe. Meanwhile, over here on the west, we're not the west coast, but we're more of the southwest. In Vegas, another storm's gonna hit you because by 10 a.m. I got a wind advisory, and our wind advisory is somewhere about, anywhere from up to 65 mile per hour winds. We got these cops here. Wow, you got like 10 cops on one guy, no vehicle. Side note, when I see 5 SUVs and one guy being detained, I think that's a waste of police funds right there. That's not necessary. I know they do that as an intimidation tactic. Does it take 5 SUVs? We're not even talking about squad cars now. I don't even know if they have those. But does it take 5 or 6 cars, and say there's 2 cops to each car? So you just do the math on that. Does it take 10 cops to surround one guy? And we know he doesn't have any type of explosive on them, or the cops wouldn't be there. The black cars or the black SUVs would be there saying SWAT. But that's something that we need to talk about a little bit later on. Where is I going? Happy Wednesday, hump day, snow storm slamming into the Midwest. I sound like a weatherman. Let's talk about the black narrative. Shows like Power, like Empire. I would not let my son or my children, I hate to say son because people are like, you always want sons. My children, I love to have a daughter too. I wouldn't let them watch those shows, not in my house, because of the image that it paints. It's black exploitation, black exploitation all over again. They did it in the 60s and the 70s with Dolomites and painting images of, giving the world images of what they think about us. Black people, and I'm saying the whole entire world. I'll tell you my encounter with a European lady a little bit later, how she met me and she said, wow, I didn't think you guys spoke so nice and so eloquent, because of what they see over the media, the narrative that's being painted. And when I talk about the narrative, I mean the narrative that in order for us to have some type of money, we got to be rapping, entertaining, sports, or telling jokes, jigabooing. That's what I like to call it. Until recently, I thought that the most wealthiest black people in the United States of America was, of course, Oprah Winfrey and Kanye West. I don't know about Michael Jordan. I don't know where he's at in the equation. He's probably a little bit lower. But there's this one guy who's not in entertainment. He's not rapping. He's not in The Color Purple. He's a black guy by the name of Robert F. Smith, and he threw his bid in to buy I believe it was the Broncos, to buy the Broncos. And how much is this black person's net worth? $6.7 billion. $6.7 billion. And he's not an entertainer. He's not a rapper. He's I believe if I looked it up right, he's a finance mogul, a finance tycoon. And I said to myself when I saw this, I said, wow, the things, and I'm gonna say they, because I don't know who they is, but I know they is the system. The things they don't put in front of the media. Oh my God, it's okay for my son to know that you can flip your drug money around and buy a what do you call that? Help me out, folks. You could wash the money, and then hopefully buy a bar or buy a nightclub, and then try to get into I'm gonna call it like I see it, the white man's shoes. And again, we don't know who the white men are, but it's okay if my son knows that. It's okay if the whole entire world knows that Black folks are good for selling drugs and flipping drug money around, and then trying to live a normal life in society. It's okay, right? Let's put that all over the media. Let's put that on mainstream television. Let's put images of our girls shaking their behinds and stuff like that. That's okay. But why don't they throw this Robert F. Smith guy to the forefront and say, hey, here's a role model. Here's a role model that's not rapping, that's not about selling drugs, that's not about acting, that's not on the red table talk getting embarrassed by his wife. Why don't we see that? Think about the picture. I heard also on the news today that Oprah made an inaccurate statement about the Holocaust. She made an inaccurate statement about the Holocaust, and I'm going to paraphrase it. I think her inaccurate statement was that the Holocaust was not about racism, but it was about inhumanity, about humans treating each other wrong. And do you know that she got suspended? She got suspended for saying that. Not by the Jewish community, but by another black woman. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. She got suspended by another of her own kind, not for making a malicious statement, but making a statement that was incorrect. Not saying anything about Jews or being anti-Semitic, but just by literally saying an incorrect statement. Can you imagine every time we saw a black exploitation show, Power, we saw something like Power hit our mainstream television. We saw something like Empire, gays, blacks. Are we good for putting on dresses? And we see the Gabrielle Unions and all this saying that it's okay for our son to do A, B, C, and D. The strongest black male out there is okay with his son identifying as a female, yet he still likes girls. Can you imagine if we as a black people stood up just like the Jewish community? And I got mad respect for the Jewish community. I got mad respect for the Hispanic community. Can you imagine if we stood up and did what they did? No, I don't want those shows on TV. I don't want ABC on this. I'm tired of the empires. I don't want that coming into our home. If we decided to unite as a people and do that, can you imagine the power behind that? The sheer power behind that, us as a people saying we don't want to be exploited like that. If we got together and said that's the same thing they were doing in the 70s, in the 60s, black exploitation, but we don't do that. We got the Kim so-and-sos of ABC suspending somebody for making an inaccurate statement, not a malicious statement. She said it was about inhumanity. And partially it in my opinion it was, and it was about race. And we'll talk about Hitler and exactly about his origins. It's all in the old books. But can you imagine if we stood together like that? And said, well, why are you always putting shows about us being dancers or NFL sports and drug lords that's trying to wash the money and trying to make it into the regular society as a normal person, a normal hard-working person? Can you imagine if we all as a people was like, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing this anymore. I had to correct one of my customers years ago, and he said the statement to me, and mind you, my pockets, I'm not fronting at that time, probably even right now, were deeper than his. And he said that I didn't know they had pools up there. And I said, I stopped him. I said, what do you mean by they? Because he meant black folks, and he was talking about North Las Vegas. And I said, let me tell you something about North Las Vegas. I set my pole down. And I said, do you know that all of those hard-working military people who are predominantly African American, black American, they have $1 million homes up there. How do I know? Because I service those swimming pools. They're well spoken, they're this, they're that. And here's the thing, could this man be getting his information from an inaccurate narrative that he sees on television, that he hears over that he's hearing over the radio, that us all being black is bad? So I believe that we as a people, we've got to get together and be like, no, we are much more than rappers. We are much more than entertainers. We are, a lot of us are the hard-working middle class. Truthfully, we are hard-working middle class. You got people like myself that we own businesses. We own businesses, and people will never see the Robert F. Smiths of the world. They'll never see the Joshuas, the people like me, that's well spoken, that keep their head low, that's not out there bling blinging and rolling on rims. We need to get together and recreate the narrative for our people and stand together. We need to be just as strong as the Jewish people, just as strong as the Hispanic people, just as strong as the white people, as Americans. And again, there's nothing wrong with I'm all for if you take pride in your race. When somebody say white pride or this, that, I'm like, cool. I'm all for it. Because if you look in the Bible, if you look at the end of the book, we still have different ethnic backgrounds in heaven, different nationalities, but we all praising one God. All the languages are saying Yahweh, God, Isa, and I'm Jesus, Christo. We all praising one God in all of our different languages because our God likes diversity, but He likes it to all work together. Keep that in mind, man. Let's change the narrative for our people. Every time I hear about, what happened to Whoopi Goldberg or the Robert F. Smiths coming out, that's a black dude, I was like, wait. So Kanye's not the only billionaire? Oprah's not the only billionaire? And Oprah didn't make her money in entertainment. It didn't start there. She was a news anchor. But, there's more of them out there and we don't know about it. I was simply amazed. And I don't know if I'm factually correct on this, but somebody fact check me. I believe that there are more black millionaires. If you look at sports and entertainment as a whole, there were more black millionaires in the United States of America. This is my belief. I may be wrong, than there are white millionaires. Why hasn't that money trickled down into our communities? In the forms of schools, in the form of re-education, in the form of repainting the narrative, redrawing the narrative of hey, I'm an American just like you are. My fellow Mexican, I don't look at them as those guys standing down at Home Depot. I look at them as hard workers, unity. They look at me, they see me working harder than them, and they probably say to themselves, that's no ordinary bleep. You guys put the word in. That dude is hard working. I look at the Filipinos across the street. They come in and they see me work 16 hours a day. We're all American. But so far the news has painted a bad narrative because of the color of our skin. Let's rechange the narrative. And yeah, I do music too. People sit down and see me doing the classical pieces, and it's like, wow, I didn't know, because I got a brain just like everybody else. Just because I'm black don't mean I'm stupid or dumb. I'm probably smarter than and I'm not tooting my horn, but hey, I'm gonna call it like it is. Let's change that narrative. Repaint the narrative for our future kids. All right, happy Wednesday. This is kind of a rant, sort of an encouragement, but if you like what I'm saying in this, don't forget to like, don't forget to pass the message on, don't forget to subscribe. don't forget to hit that button. You know, you guys have a happy Wednesday. I'm gonna upload this right now.